Not because the red potatoes are ready to harvest and have produced all the potatoes that they can, but because the sweet potatoes over here are overtaking the entire bed, and for convenience for me, I'm going to remove the red potatoes now and allow the sweet potatoes to continue to grow and fill this entire bed. That was the original plan when I started. As you can see, we have lots of green growth on some of these plants, but most of the plants have died out or are dying out. We've got the sweet potatoes encroaching here, so I'm going to go ahead and start to remove the twine here that I used to support the red potato vines and start removing the red potato plants. Now that I've removed the strings, I'll put those aside, and now I'm going to remove the hoops. I put these hoops in here to protect the plants from cold weather primarily, and I could also put a shade cloth over them, protect them from the heat. What I've done here is use the Mittleider method and idea in creating a in-the-garden greenhouse by using a 1/2 inch PVC. This is schedule 40 PVC, and I have this in a 3/4 inch 200 psi 15 inch long PVC piece that I have a screw that's 6 inches down holding it into the base. Now that I don't need these, I'm just going to go ahead and remove these from the garden. Just to make digging up the potatoes easier, I'm going to remove the automatic watering system PVC pipe. I'm going to turn off the water so when the system turns on tomorrow we won't be watering this side. And remove the 6 inch long treated 2x4 lumber here that holds up the PVC pipe off the ground for watering. Get those out of the garden. Then I'm ready to start harvesting red potatoes. When I bought the seed potatoes at the local feed store, I purposely bought 5 pounds of seed potatoes so I could do easy math when I harvested. I figured if I get 50 pounds of potatoes, I've gotten a 10-fold yield, and that's what I'm hoping for. Here's my scale zeroed out, and I got my 5-gallon bucket sitting on top. I'll start filling that with potatoes and see if we get 50 pounds of potatoes. Here's the first potato plant that I've just pulled up by hand, and so far I'm impressed with the size of these potatoes. That's a nice size red potato. Look at that thing. So I'm going to go through here by hand pulling these up, and then I'll go through with a fork, like a pitchfork, and see how many potatoes we can harvest. Alright, so we got the first 2 plants out. This is what we have from the first 2 potato plants. Some really nice looking potatoes here. So nice variety of sizes, but I'm very happy with what I have so far. That's probably a couple pounds there. Now let's just go down through and see what we find here. The nice thing about this sand and sawdust, I really don't need a pitchfork at all because it's so easy to get down inside. Oh, there's one there. I haven't found the seed potatoes yet. They're completely gone from the vines. I've never successfully grown potatoes before, so I don't know if that's typical. But we're certainly getting a good yield here so far. I just keep going down, finding these potatoes. Look how clean they come up too. Love this sand and sawdust mix, and it's so cheap to use. Okay. As soon as these come out, I'll be putting another crop in here. Not sure what I'll be doing. There we go. So there's the seed potato. Here's the first seed potato I found. It's just really the shell. The potato itself is gone. Okay, I'm going to continue going on down this row. As you can see, I've got some pretty good mounds here with potatoes poking up all the way through. So I'm very optimistic of what we're going to find. Okay, we are 1/3 way through the garden bed right now, and we're just above 15 pounds, almost 16 pounds. So it looks like we're going to be short of a 10-fold yield, but what we're getting so far is very good potatoes. I'm very excited. This is my 3rd year of growing potatoes and my 1st year of harvesting potatoes. I'll show you what we have so far in the bucket. So we have about a 1/2 bucket full of potatoes so far, And got some great looking potatoes in here, some little ones and some big ones, kind of the whole range. Very excited. Alright, I found that the ones that have multiple stalks are having more potatoes attached to them. So let's see what this one looks like. This has quite a cluster of potatoes here, all different sizes. But they're very easy to pick and very exciting for me. We are now 2/3 way through the grow box and we're at 32 pounds. So the yield has been pretty consistent so far, but now this is going to be interesting because now we go to the section of the grow box where I planted pieces of seed potatoes. Up to this point I had planted whole potatoes. So we'll see if the yield remains the same as far as whether we're going to get about the same amount of potatoes from the partial potatoes as we did from the whole potatoes. So let's see what this bucket looks like. That's a good looking bucket of potatoes. Okay, I was fighting the sunset and the dark clouds because we're having a rainstorm and we just ran out of light. So we're inside here now and this is the final yield. And what I've done is I put a majority of the potatoes in this bucket here because I'm going to put this bucket on top of that bucket and put it on the scale. As you can see, I've already removed the tare weight of 2 buckets on the scale, and so we'll get a good final weight for the harvest. I hope you can see this, but we've got 48.5 pounds of potatoes. Wow, that is awesome. 1.5 pounds short of a full 10-fold yield. That is very cool. So, another thing that's very cool is that I did not have any green potatoes. I had no potatoes get destroyed by sun exposure, and we did not mound these potatoes at all. I just planted the seed potatoes a couple inches below the soil. If one potato poked up during the season, I just threw a little bit of loose soil on top of it. Using the Mittleider gardening method, you do not need to mound potatoes. So if this were a 30-foot long bed, 18 inches wide, you'd be able to get about 100 pounds of potatoes. That's exciting. That's a lot of food for one family. That'd make a lot of potato salads, which we're going to be making Monday. Make a lot of potato soups, a lot of fried potatoes, baked potatoes, hash browns. I'm sure there are many ways to grow potatoes. This is the first way I've successfully grown potatoes, and I'm excited. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, you shall not fear. And if you simply follow the Mittleider gardening method and the gardening planting details sheet that's free as a download, I'll have the link below, you can have great harvests like this, very little work. Literally all I did was put them in the ground, let the automatic watering system water them, and I fed them once a week. I did give them a little support because I was trying to keep them in an enclosed space, but other than that, they just did everything by themselves and got a great yield. I hope you enjoyed this potato harvest video, and I hope you try it yourself and have great results too.